guys, I'm just gonna let you know, if you haven't seen my previous 3 videos, I'm sick at the moment, so don't mind me and my stuffy nose and my cough and all that. I just got tested for COVID recently, so I can't tell you the result because I haven't had it yet. Because this is pre-filmed, so, you know, I obviously didn't have the test yet, but at this point in the video, at this point in time, the video's up. At this point, I have gotten tested already, so I don't know the result though. I don't know how it actually feels to get that swab all the way up your nose, but I'll find out in a few days' time. And of course, once the video's up, you guys will already know if I'm positive or not, because I'll probably post it. So yeah, you guys will know. So, Dark Tragic Days in Sports History by Nightmare Files, 11 minutes 45 seconds. I do believe this was suggested, because I don't, unless he posted this and then I just like normally like download it as a reaction, because like I automatically download videos from him, Dark and Twisted, Wednesday Entertainment, Mr. Nightmare, Llama Arts, so I don't know if this was just like one of his videos or if it was suggested, but it's just under 12 minutes long. So, Dark Tragic Days in Sports History, all I can think of is like his deaths, or I don't even know, but I guess we'll find out. Let's go, guys.
Same feeling. It's similar when Pete Maravich died. You just don't know where to turn to get answers.
Mourning the loss of a college basketball player.
The growing concern about the dangers of high school football in the first...
So probably just like really bad injuries, really gruesome injuries that possibly were deadly or turned deadly, you know? I love sports too, but they obviously make me nervous playing them just because like you never know. I should have sent this video to my friend because he loves sports too, like watching more so, not really playing. He only likes playing the one sport, but yeah. Pink Gathers. March 4th, 1990. This is already going to be a side video.
In the 1990 NCAA basketball season, Loyola Marymount was on its way to a possible tournament championship. They were led by their high-flying star, Hank Gathers, who led the NCAA tournament in scoring that year and was projected to be a lottery pick in the 1990 NBA draft. On December 9, 1989, Gathers collapsed at the LMU home game against UC Santa Barbara. He was found to have an abnormal heartbeat and was prescribed a beta blocker. However, Gathers felt that the medication negatively affected his play, and his dosage was gradually cut back. Originally prescribed at 240 milligrams per day, his dosage was cut to 40 milligrams per day for the next 3 months. Gathers returned after sitting out for 3 weeks and missing 2 games, and he averaged 29.3 minutes and 29.15 points a game in his 20 games through the remainder of the season. However, he struggled with his play for weeks after returning. His play recovered in a nationally televised game against LSU on February 3rd, 1990, when he scored 48 points along with 13 rebounds, while being guarded by future NBA first-round draft picks Stanley Roberts and Shaquille O'Neal in a 148 to 141 overtime loss. The Lions won 7 of their next 8 games, and Gathers recorded a career high of 30 rebounds against St. Mary's. On February 26, 1990, as the WCC tournament neared, Gathers' medication was reduced one last time from 80 to 40 milligrams, on a condition that he undergo testing in a couple of days to determine if it was safe and effective at suppressing his dosage. He did not show up for his test that week and avoided calls from the cardiologist's office. On March 2nd, he had a long talk with a cardiologist who told him to play and come in for the testing after the tournament concluded. It was later suspected that Gathers was not taking any dosage on the game days. The following day in the WCC tournament quarterfinals in Los Angeles, he recorded 28 points and 11 rebounds in a 121-84 win over Gonzaga. On Sunday, March 4th, Gathers collapsed again with 13 minutes and 34 seconds left in the first half of the semifinal game against Portland Pilots. He had just scored a dunk from an alley-oop pass from Terrell Lowry, and they went up 25-13. 13 seconds later, while positioned around mid-court in the Lions' full-court press, he collapsed a yard or 2 away from the Pilots' point guard, Eric Spoelstra. He attempted to get up, telling the athletic trainers, "I don't want to lay down." Shortly after, he stopped breathing. Gathers was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital at 6:55 p.m. He was 23 years old. Minutes after Gathers was taken to the hospital, the WCC commissioner suspended the game indefinitely. ESPN broadcast graphic footage of Gathers' collapse on SportsCenter. The network was at the game recording advanced footage for the championship game and was scheduled to televise the next night. Late that night, the WCC canceled the tournament, and awarded LMU the conference automatic bid to the NCAA tournament due to WCC regular season title. Gathers was buried at the Mount Lawn Cemetery in Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania. An autopsy found that he suffered from a heart muscle disorder.
Heart muscle disorder. It's always scary, like heart problems you can easily have. You never know what can be like missed, and that's terrifying. It terrifies me. Right, Brian Williams, July 6, 2002.
Bison Daly, born Brian Williams, was a former NBA player from 1991 to 1999 who won an NBA championship in 1997 with the Chicago Bulls. But on or around July 7, 2002, he and two other people that he was with vanished. On July 6, 2002, Bison Daly, also known as Brian Williams, his girlfriend, Serena Carlin, and Bison Daly's brother, along with their skipper, Bertrand Saldo, sailed from Tahiti on Daly's boat. Dale's brother, Miles DeBoer, born Kevin Williams, was the only person involved in the voyage who was seen or heard from after July 8, 2002, when the last of the 3 satellite phone calls from the voyage was made. Daly and Carlin had previously kept regular contact with their banks and family members. On July 20th, Miles bought the boat into Tahiti. He was alone aboard the vessel. On September 5, 2002, police used a sting operation organized by Daly's family and friends to detain Miles DeBoer in Phoenix, Arizona. Miles had forged Daly's signature in order to buy $150,000 worth of gold under his brother's name, using Daly's passport as identification. Mexican police later found that Miles had been staying at a hotel in Tijuana, Mexico. 2 days before, the Hakuna Matata, which had been registered in Tahiti under another name, was found off the coast of Tahiti, with the nameplate removed and some possible bullet holes patched. About the same time, Miles phoned his mother, Patricia Phillips, telling her that he would never hurt Daly and that he could not survive in prison. The FBI and French authorities became involved in the investigation and concluded that Daly, Carlin, and Saldo were probably murdered and then thrown overboard by Miles. Given that the bodies were likely dumped in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, it would be highly unlikely that the 3 would ever be found. Miles, the only first-person source of information regarding the case, intentionally overdosed on insulin and slipped into a coma. On September 27, 2002, Miles died in a California hospital. In his account of the events, Miles said he and his brother had fought, and that Karen had been accidentally hit and died when her head struck a part of the boat. When Saldo wanted to report her death, a panicked Daly killed him. Miles then shot his brother in self-defense, threw the bodies overboard, and subsequently fled back to the U.S. after Miles' insulin overdose. Officials did not expect to find much more regarding the case. A memorial service was then held for Miles and Daly. The brothers were frequently at odds with each other. After Miles' death, his lawyer and lifelong best friend, Paul White, was questioned regarding his client, but gave little information about what happened. Miles had said that he knew for sure that Daly and Carlin were in the French Polynesia, but not much more than that, as he was trying to help Daly.
So that's whack. So one of them was accidentally killed, and someone out of panic killed that person. It would kill the other person, knock them over, and then overdose. Holy crap, that's insane. Lynn Bias, June 19th, 1986. This feels like 1,000 ways to like names, dates.
On June 17th, Lynn Bias was selected by the Boston Celtics as the 6th overall pick in the 1986 NBA Draft, which was held in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Red Auerbach, the Celtics president and general manager, had dealt guard Gerald Henderson and cashed the Supersonics for the pick in 1984. After the draft, Bias and his family returned to their suburban Maryland home. On June 18th, Bias and his father flew to Boston, Massachusetts, from Washington, D.C. for the NBA club draft acceptance and product endorsement signing ceremony with the Celtics coach and management. Bias had discussions with Reebok's sports marketing division regarding a 5-year endorsement package worth $1.6 million. After returning home to Maryland, Bias drove back to the campus of the University of Maryland. He left campus at approximately 2 a.m. on Thursday, June 19th, drove to an off-campus gathering, and returned to the dormitory between 2:30 and 3 a.m. For the next 3 to 4 hours, Bias' longtime friend Brian Tribble and several teammates repeatedly snorted cocaine in a dormitory suite shared by Bias and his teammates. Bias reportedly had a seizure and collapsed while talking with teammate Terry Long at 6:32 a.m. When Tribble called 911, Bias was unconscious and not breathing. All attempts by the emergency medical team to restart his heart and breathing were unsuccessful. After additional attempts to revive him at Leland Memorial Hospital in Riverdale, Maryland, Bias was pronounced dead at 8:55 a.m. of cardiac arrhythmia related to his usage of cocaine. It was reported that there were no other drugs or alcohol found in his system. 4 days after Bias died, more than 11,000 people attended a June 23rd memorial service at the Cole Field House, the University Recreation and Student Center where Bias played for the Terrapins. Those speaking at the memorial service included Ray Auerbach, who said that he had planned for 3 years to draft Bias for the Celtics. On June 30th, 1986, the Celtics honored Bias with their own memorial service, giving his number used, number 30, the Celtic jersey, to his mother, Lenice. On July 25th, 1986, a grand jury returned indictments against Brian Tribble for possession of cocaine and possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute. Bias's Maryland teammates Terry Long and David Gregg were charged with possession of cocaine and obstruction of justice. Long and Gregg were both suspended from the team on July 31st. All three defendants entered not guilty plea in August. On October 20th, 1986, prosecutors dropped all charges against Long and Gregg in exchange for their testimony against Tribble. On October 30th, the grand jury added 3 more indictments against Tribble. 1 count of conspiracy to obstruct of justice and 2 counts of obstruction of justice. Also on October 30th, Kenneth Mark Fobbs, Tribble's roommate, was charged with perjury for allegedly lying to the grand jury about the last time he had seen Tribble. The state ultimately dropped the perjury charges against Fobbs on March 24, 1987, and the jury acquitted Tribble of all charges related to the Bias case on June 3, 1987. In 1990, Tribble pleaded guilty to a drug charge following a 2-year undercover sting operation. He cooperated with the government and was sentenced to 10 years and 1 month in prison.
Wow, eh? Okay, so obviously this video was like not cool to see. Especially because like me, I always get nervous about like any little thing. It can be like something simple like me having a cold or me being sick like I am right now. You'll never know what'll happen. You never know what can happen. Like you can get like septic shock or something, which is like if an infection like really affects you or something, then you can die. And that's always what I've been nervous for. Not kind of what. Oh my god. That's why I always try to take like medication and like all that, and like, you know, I just try to take a lot. Like half the time I feel like I overdose on medication, but I don't. I should like throat spray or some cough syrup or something like that just to like help. But at times I get nervous that I get something serious and stuff like that, and I got interrupted. Basically, yeah, so like anything like that, like I just get nervous over. Like I've had a thing with health anxiety, like a battle with it, and it's been basically a year since it began, and it kind of stopped or got better a few months ago. Although I still get nervous and stuff, obviously, but it's not as bad now. I've been to the ER a lot. Like I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in videos when it was actually going on, so you probably noticed I was a bit more nervous or a bit anxious or kind of faking like that. I'm obviously better now. This sickness right now just obviously has me kind of nervous, not knowing if I have COVID. Again, when this video is out, I'll know if I have COVID or not, but yeah. That's gonna be it. RIP to all those players. And about the cocaine one, don't do drugs. Just don't do drugs. Like weed is a drug. I don't know if weed's a drug, obviously, yeah, so don't do drugs. If it's for medical reasons, and I guess it can be okay, but I'm pretty sure it still has like side effects and it can be bad, so try avoiding it at all costs because it's not good for you. Or at least smoking isn't good for you, like all that is not good for you. Just try to avoid that, you know, like if you do that, it'll take off years of your life potentially, so, and like you don't want to take that risk. Like for me, I try to like minimize my risk of dying all the time. Even though I'm like really addicted to sugar and I always have sugar, I try to like limit it. I definitely had a lot more as a kid. Now I obviously stopped. And obviously good because I'm in my 20s now. I'll be 21 next month and about basically a month yesterday. Again, this is going to be up probably about 23 days before my birthday, so I'm going to be 21 in 22 days. Yeah. Crazy. It's September 30th right now, so yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to RIP to all those people that passed. I don't know if it was because they played sports and they had heart issues, I have no idea. Like, regardless, just be careful with your health. Like, always take your health seriously and always put your health first before anything else. Because if you don't have your health, you're basically dead. So, like what's the point of going to work if you're dead? Like, you can't go to work if you're dead, you know what I mean? So always put yourself first. Don't put sports before your life, because then you're not going to have your life to play sports, you know what I mean? So you always put your life first. Always put your health first. That's going to be it, though. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe. And let me know if you guys have any other suggestions. I still do not know if this was a suggestion or... I'm going to have to look it up and see when it was uploaded. If it was uploaded recently, like less than a month ago, then I probably just did that. Let's see if it'll come up. No, Mr. Nightmare Files. Let's take a look, guys. Dark, Tragic Days Sports. 3 weeks ago, so this is potentially a video that I just normally did myself. But yeah, if anybody wanted you try, if any of you wanted me to react to it, there you go. But again, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in this one. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to comment down below. Be sure to suggest anything you may have, and be sure to turn on post notifications as well. And hopefully, the next time I see you, I'm not gonna be as sick, or hopefully, I'll be a bit better. I'm already a lot better than yesterday, so that's obviously good. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Peace out.